What is up, players? It's Warboss Tay back up in this mug. Welcome to my week 1 video progress update for my Spookytoberfest 2016 project. And as you can see, my Tyrannid exocrine is built up. There have been some ugly lines going down the center of his back. Some of them are still pretty visible, so I'm going to have to go back over them with a little bit more liquid green stuff. These ones in the front seem to be covered nicely though, and the model is just so beautiful. I'm really pleased with how well it builds up, and I'm really looking forward to painting it. For the basing, I'm actually going to be doing what Broken has suggested, which is using some cheapo craft store acrylic paint, in this case raw umber, and mixing it with some, do I have any around? Yeah, sand here to kind of make the grit and the rubble, rather than gluing sand onto the entire base, which is kind of what I've always done. I'm going to try this different approach because it seems to have worked pretty well for him, and I actually have an example of what it looks like. So it's going to come on and glue on and create very nice looking texture, and I really enjoy how easy it is to do. Basically, I just put the paint down, and then I sprinkled some sand on top of it, and then I just mixed it up all together. And that's what I did for this. I'm gonna prime it. It looks kind of muddy and gross now, but I'm gonna prime this whole thing with Mechanicus Standard Gray and a little bit more texture. And when I'm done painting it up, adding some grass and flock like the other scenery pieces I've done, should look really nice. So the other big update is my client for Throg here, not you, Throg the Troll King, has backed out of the commission, which means that I am no longer under a crunch to build and paint this guy up. So that's unfortunate, because look at how awesome this model is. It's a terrific looking model. I'm not even done building it. There's an axe that goes in his head, and some other cool things like his tusks. He's missing his tusks. But I was building it, and then he said that there's just too much other stuff taking his funds away, and he's had to back out of the project, which is always a bummer. But I wish him all the best, and hey, he donated the model to my studio, so that's really exciting. I'll see if I can do some more videos and just see what it's like to paint him up. Throg the Troll King. I've always wanted a Throg the Troll King model, so I'm really happy that I get to have one in my collection now. The question of the week is, what is a favorite scary story from your childhood? It could be something you've heard around a campfire, or an urban legend or something, just a scary story. And the reason that I chose this question was because when I was a kid, there was a story that always scared the heebie-jeebies out of me. There was this local restaurant, and it was kind of open to the air. It wasn't enclosed with walls. It was kind of like almost like a drive-in, and you would order your food and you would sit in the open air, and it was kind of dark, and it was right next door to a cemetery, and it was called Jolly Rogers in Kahala on Oahu in Hawaii. And there was this legend, and I think this legend was from like a bunch of different places, but it kind of got morphed and mutated, you know, like the game Telephone. And the legend that I heard was that there was this woman who would, late at night, she would, like, if you're a girl, it only happens to women, unfortunately, I think. Yeah, I don't think she went into the boys' bathroom. She respected the sanctity of the men's bathroom, and she just stayed in the women's bathroom. But if you're a woman, you would go into the girls' bathroom late at night, and there would have to be nobody else in the restaurant except whoever was working behind the counter. And the bathroom was around the corner down this dark hallway, and like it was open air, right? So you would see the cemetery right next to the restaurant, and it was all dark because the street lights didn't illuminate that far in, and the overhead fluorescent lamps were just really old. And I remember being a kid before they tore this restaurant down, just looking down that hallway late at night and saying, nope, I do not need to use the bathroom, Mom. I will wait until I get home. And but if you were a woman, you would go into the bathroom, and the bathroom would be completely empty, or the restroom, or the lavatory. And you would go into a stall, and This is the worst part because it's like the most private part of your your alone time in the bathroom is like the minute you sit down and start doing your business, right? But if you're a woman, you're as soon as you started doing your thing, you would hear crying, like a voice crying outside of the stall, and it would sound just like a woman, and she would sound like sad and like tearful, and the the thing that still creeps me out to this day is the part of the story where if she like the minute this you would open the stall and look outside, you would see this Asian woman, long black hair, you know, because that's how they always have to be in these stories, falling over her face, and she's crying into her hands in front of the mirror. And I think traditionally she's wearing white. I think, yeah. And then um, I guess like the best way to get out of this situation is for you to just leave. Like leave her alone. Let her just handle her business and you do your business and you wash your hands and then you leave. But I think or how did the story go? If you do not approach her, I think she wants you to approach her and she wants you to ask, are you all right? Are you okay? Yeah, I think that might be it. This could be totally wrong. I don't know. Some other Hawaiian people who remember this urban legend, you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But I think the way, or the version that I was told was that if you go up to her and if you say, like if you put your hand on her shoulder, or if you say, hey, are you okay? What's going on? Are you all right? She will keep her face covered and she'll just nod. But she'll keep crying, but she'll nod like, I'm okay, thank you, I'm fine. And then you're free to go. But if you don't ask if she's okay and you just wash your hands and you ignore her, yeah, I think this is how it goes. If you ignore her and you just wash your hands, then and you look down and you like don't look at her because you know how awkward it is to look at other people in the bathroom. If you don't look at her and you're just washing your hands, she stops crying. And then at that point, if you look up into the mirror or if you turn and you look at her, she's gonna be like facing you with her hands down, and she does not have a face. Oh, it's like all smooth, scary. So that's the urban legend that I remember. Hey, stay tuned because there's gonna be more content from my channel. We're gonna actually get to painting this guy, and I'm really excited to see all your videos for Spookytoberfest week number 1.